Welcome to your video guide for travel healthcare. I'm Kay from Travel Nursing Newbies, and today we will be discussing working with your recruiter. So come on and join us now. Travel healthcare just got easier. As a travel healthcare professional, we expect our recruiters to be honest and full of integrity. You know, it's a two-way street in that. We need to, not only do we need to expect that from our recruiter, but what do recruiters expect from us travelers? You know, I've also wondered why so many times it seems like recruiters and travel nurses are on two different sides, and you know, that's not how it needs to be. We all need to work as a team. So this video, we're going to go through some tips and tricks, and I've talked to several recruiters. This comes from the recruiters. This is what they are looking for in a travel nurse or travel healthcare professional. If you do these things, then you are going to have a lot better time getting what you need out of your recruiter and out of your company. You need, first of all, you want to look for somebody who will believe in you and wants to help you. This is a partnership. They need to supply what you need in a location and a pay rate. So communication is very important for us to communicate to our recruiters. That's what they need from us. They need us to communicate to them what we are looking for in an assignment so that they can help us find that perfect assignment. You need somebody, they're also looking for a nurse with a good heart and who is looking to not only travel where the money isn't always the number one priority. You know, you should be in this for taking care of patients, and your heart has to be in it. They're looking for someone who is focused in their career and who is into open to different facilities. You know, I know we may have our preferences for a large facility or small facility, but if something really cool came up, would you be interested in this? They want somebody who is wanting to expand beyond their backyard, okay? I know local contracts, sometimes you have to take them because of family, but really, you know, a recruiter's looking for somebody who's going to be open to going, you know, just about anywhere so that they have a better chance to place you. They want somebody who not only represents themselves well at a hospital, but a travel healthcare professional who is actually a professional at the hospital, somebody that represents their company well. They want somebody who is dedicated and committed to their job. I don't know, you know, as a house supervisor, I don't know how many times I've hung my head because travel nurses are call in so frequently. You know, this happens with staff also, but as travelers, we have a contract, we're contracted to be there. We really need to be there if at all possible. Yes, I understand things do come up, but we need to be better in getting to the assignment on time and showing up to work on time. And then actually working whenever you get there. It's amazing some of the things that I've seen at night. But anyway, that's another story. You know, a recruiter wants somebody who's flexible with a great attitude. You know, if you're mad at the recruiter all the time whenever you call, or that's all you call for is to gripe about things, then that's really not what they're looking in an ideal traveler. You know, they want somebody who's going to be happy, that you know does have problems and will come to them, feels like they can come to them, but you know, don't do it with an attitude. It's the attitude that really kind of sours the relationship between the recruiter and the traveler. They prefer somebody who was wanting to continue their contract, to extend their contract. It's a lot easier to do an extension for both the nurse and the recruiter. It's a lot easier to do an extension than to have to do a resubmittal or a submittal to another hospital to get you another contract. The ideal travel professional would be someone who is experienced and skills in many different modalities. You know, the perfect travel nurse is one of them who has been in the float pool. You know, that way you can help out wherever you're needed. I know it's really hard to do for some people because you're not interested in med surg and ICU and ER and having all the critical skills, but somebody who can float to even 3 or 4 different floors is much more valuable to a recruiter and to a hospital than somebody who can just do 1 or 2 floors. Nothing wrong with doing 1 or 2 floors, but you know, if you're talking about value and you know what companies want, what recruiters want in a travel nurse, they want somebody who's going to be flexible, adaptable, and who can who is willing to float within reason. They need somebody who can walk into a hospital and take ownership of their skills. You know, you need to go into a hospital, you need to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. You have to show them. You cannot tell them. You have to go into a hospital and show them that you know what you're doing. You know, it's like with IV starts. I've had a new assignment and, you know, it's like they're struggling with an IV and I'll let them go for a while and then I'll volunteer. You know, they don't always take that. You know, if they do, then, you know, you have to put yourself in there and show them your skills. So after you've started one hard stick IV, then yeah, they'll know that, hey, Kay can do it. We'll come to Kay to do that. Another trick I learned, this is one of the best things I ever learned as a travel nurse. It's like when you're putting in a Foley catheter. If you're putting in a male and he's got an enlarged prostate, if you have them cough, then that catheter will go right in. It's amazing how many ICU nurses I have bedazzled because I can put in a Foley catheter. So that'll help you out. There's a little tidbit that's extra for you. You know, flexibility is really important. You know, you need to be flexible with your shift and schedule and geography. You know, that's what recruiters are looking for. Shift, I know it's really hard for some people to work night shift. You just physically can't do it. I mentally cannot do day shift. There's too many people around the hospital. So, you know, yes, you have your preferences, but many times I have floated or stayed over to help out on day shift. So if you're flexible and you can do a little bit of that, and any little bit helps. You don't have to do it all the time, but any little bit helps with your schedule. You know, if you're there and you're away from home and you really don't have any plans, then why not switch a day? If you can switch just even 1 or 2 days of contract, then your chances of having a great evaluation for that contract is going to be much greater. Another thing that recruiters are looking for is somebody with great people skills and interacts well with patients and staff, and acts professionally. There's some people who walk in and I really want to ask them if they partied in their scrubs last night or maybe they were folded up in a corner. You need to act professional, you need to dress professional. Also, you need to interact with your patients professional. Yes, we all have bad days, but we need to leave the attitude at home. That is what a recruiter is looking for. They're also looking for somebody who is responsive to updates and information. The most stressful part of the whole contract to me is after submission and before orientation, because you're going to have all these credentialing items that you're going to have to get in, and your recruiter is going to they're gonna be sending you emails every day. When are you doing this? When are you doing this? When are you doing this? It's so very important to get somebody who will get their credentialing done and at least have a plan. Okay, so I've got an appointment here, I've got an appointment then, and as long as recruiters know where you are at in the process, then they're good with it. Be a healthcare professional who will turn in their time card in a timely fashion. We all forget, yes, but it's what you do on a consistent basis. Monday at noon, you make sure that your time card is there. I know the trend lately is for the hospitals to send your time card in, because sometimes they go through vendor management systems, but it's still your responsibility to get your time card to your company. So even though the staffing office may fax your time card, you also need to take the responsibility to fax your time card. They want someone who are a healthcare professional because they love it. Unfortunately, there are some healthcare providers who do go into the field related to the money, and if that's the way you want to start out, if your heart's not in it, please don't try travel nursing, because you have got so much more pressure as a staff nurse, and you got to do it for patient safety. It all comes back down to the patient, and you don't want to go to the board of nursing and have to explain yourself in front. Recruiters are really looking for nurses who have a heart for the world of patient care and the world of travel. There's a lot of trust in between recruiters and nurses and healthcare professionals. It's hard sometimes to put your trust into a recruiter, but if you just trust them and let them work for you until they disprove that trust. Yes, I've had some that have disproved the trust, but recruiters want you to come into the relationship with that trust, and they also need to reciprocate that trust. We're a team. You got to trust each other. Please trust your recruiters until they prove you differently. If they do prove you differently, then there's a way to fix that, and that's go to the recruiter manager and ask for a different recruiter. They want somebody who is knowledgeable about the industry and somebody who is realistic. You guys are doing a great job because you're watching these videos, so you are going to be educated on what you are supposed to be doing before you get to the hospital, and we're going to take you clear through orientation. They want somebody with great ethics and integrity. Do what you say that you're going to do, and do it when no one else is looking. You're at the hospital all by yourself. You may have another traveler there too, but really nobody from your company is standing beside you to hold your hand. So do what you're supposed to be doing when you go to these hospitals. You're going to find yourself, it's going to be much more happier and have a successful travel healthcare field. I want to end with this. I want you to take a clear look at your nursing career and why. Why do you want to be a travel healthcare professional? When you look yourself in the mirror, do you see a person who can be a great traveling nurse? It takes a special person, number one, to be a good nurse. It takes a special person even farther to make a good traveling nurse. Working with a recruiter is a two-way street. Treat them as you want to be treated. The key to success in this business is to be a team. Be a team with your recruiter. If your recruiter you feel like is not being a team with you, get you another recruiter. I cannot stress enough. You can go to the manager and get you another recruiter, but it is very important that you get along with your recruiter and for patient care, because if you're not happy, the recruiter's not happy, and that patient's not going to be happy. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video.